Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Hope you guys are doing well today. Over here on my side, you guys probably can't tell, I'm in the basement, but outside has been raining for the past couple of hours, and it has been very gloomy outside, very dark and gray. But hey, it matches the theme, or it matches the title of this video. I guess it just matches this video. Since this video, what I'm gonna be talking about is my breakup that I've been going through, right? So me and my ex, we've broken up recently. It's since July 15th, right? So a little under 2 months. I would say that's recent, right? Considering that our relationship was it was 9 years, almost going to 10 years, right? So pretty hefty relationship, pretty long journey that we had together. Yeah, when we first started, it was very very interesting, right? But we just kind of made the leap, right? We took a leap of faith, and we just tried to work things out together. It was a very awkward situation, but we did our best to make things work or whatever. But unfortunately, just at the end of our relationship, we just couldn't make it work, or things just didn't work out right. It just wasn't meant to be, I guess. A lot of people could say. But first of all, I'm not here to bash anybody, right? I'm not here to talk crap, and I'm not here to slander anybody's name into the ground, right? That's not what I'm here to do, and that's not what I have been doing. So for those of you who thought that I was talking crap, or thought that I was like, spreading rumors or whatever, I'm not. Okay, I'm sure nobody thinks that, because a lot of people who were affected, they know us both pretty well. But I hope her side is reciprocated, and I hope that she's not, talking bad about anybody, I guess you could say. But I think we've been together for long enough that we both know each other, and we both know that we're not doing that, right? But to move on, a lot of my family members and some of my friends didn't want me to post up this type of video because they advised me that it might not be smart. Could come back and bite me in the ass, could come back. I could get backlash for it. I don't see why I would, but another thing is it is very recent for me, right? So it's a recent breakup for me, and I've been taking it very hard, especially from the beginning. But I've been doing my best to cope and deal with everything. But the way I see it is, you want to. Well, for me, what I told myself was, it's better to tend these wounds now, right, than to wait till later on when I'm just a little bit over it, and then kind of let me start. It's better to tend old wounds. It's better to tend these wounds now than pick out old scars. There you go. That's basically. I had a brain fart right there, but that's basically how I viewed it, and hopefully that's what people will understand when this video does come out, right? But to start out with, we had a very interesting relationship, right? After like 5 or 7 years, a lot of people were kind of wondering, like, hey, how are you guys able to do everything together, right? How are you guys working it out? Because a lot of relationships that start from that young of age, they don't work out that well, right? They usually break up when whoever goes to college and whatever. But for me and her, I feel like we always had like the same answer, right? Which was communication and just respecting one another, right? Whether that's beliefs, goals, future plans, or just respecting the person in general, right? And I felt like we did do that. But oddly enough, at the end of our relationship, I felt like that's where we failed at the most, right? And it's crazy because that's the answer we always gave, or the answer I gave. But at the end, that's the answer that excuse me, that's what caused us to split, right? So moving on from that, I feel like we brought our own insecurities from the past, our past relationships and whatnot, into our relationships now, or the relationship that we had. Sorry. Yeah, with that, we did talk about our own insecurities from the past and whatnot, and we tried to work it through, and hopefully I did a good enough job to help her get past her insecurities. But on my side, the part where I kind of messed up was, or the part that I did mess up was, I kind of shrugged off my own insecurities, and I really explained to her that it had nothing to do with her. So it was something that I had to deal with on my own, right? And I could tell, I honestly, I really understood how much she wanted to help, and I could tell she really wanted to help me get over it, but she just didn't know what to do because I wasn't letting her in, right? I wasn't letting her help me out, and I admit to that, and that's a fault that I had, or a fault that I did, right? Mistake that I did, and I genuinely believe that it was something that I could kind of get over on my own. But if I just helped her out, right, then we could have like possibly worked it out, right? And I hate going to the if I did this or we could have, should have, would have, because it brings those fake possibilities that would never happen because it didn't happen, right? And because now reality hits and it is what it is. It's rough to focus on these ifs and would have, should have, could have, because then you start, getting in your head about it. But the problem with my insecurity was I started, even though I mentioned to her that it's something I had to deal with on my own. I don't know why, but I kept bringing it back into our relationship, even though it had nothing to do with our relationship, right? And it was rough because I know she wanted to help, but I wasn't accepting help, and it got bad to the point where I felt like my dreams or I had nightmares about my insecurities, right? To the point where I would tell her about my nightmares, but I would brush it off again, right? And she probably just didn't know how to help me, and that probably kind of brought some negativity into our relationship too, right? From what I did. But aside from that, we were both like not very transparent with each other either, right? We didn't really talk about certain things or very core important things in a relationship. For example, we didn't really talk about what we expected and what we needed from each other in order to feel like we had a sense of fulfillment in the relationship, or to feel extremely or just happy in the relationship, right? We talked about goals, family plans, future plans, all the typical stuff that family, or not family, but couples talk about, right? But one thing is, we never really asked each other, like, what do I need or expect from you? What do I want from you, right? What do I expect from you to make me feel like this relationship is worth staying for, stuff like that. And I feel like when we did talk about little things like that, like, are you happy and stuff like that, we didn't dig deep. We should ask like very general questions, like, are you happy and what do you want to do and stuff like that. And we kind of put a mask over ourselves, and we're so blinded and infatuated with the fact that we had a good relationship and that it was all just going to work out. But things don't always work out, right? You have to put effort into making things happen, and that is something that we didn't do, and we're both very blinded to it. And as the days go by, I start to see more and more of it, and it's just very unfortunate, right, that we didn't get to that point where we're able to just sit down, talk extremely deep about our personal emotions and what our expectations were. Because we always had like small expectations of each other, right? I want you to do this, I want you to do that, just typical stuff. But it's never really anything that was affecting our relationship. It was more just at the moment, right? Things that we wanted each other to do at the moment. But yeah, even towards the end of our relationship, we weren't very transparent with each other. Even during the breakup, it wasn't completely transparent. So we both kind of fucked up a lot. So to say that our relationship was bad or toxic is probably an overstatement. But to say that it was good or perfect is also an overstatement. We weren't toxic. We didn't have super big arguments. Maybe I can only recall like maybe 2 or 3 very bad arguments that we had, but it always ended with us talking it out and being very mature about it, right? And what was I going on with this? But even though we weren't super toxic, we didn't have like the best or perfect relationship, right? Of course, nobody is perfect and everybody has flaws, but like going back to the woulda, shoulda, couldas, right? If I did this, if I would have just said this or whatever, it could have worked. But moving on from that, I feel like we became so comfortable with each other too, right? Our presence with each other, we became so comfortable to the point where we were too comfortable, and we started relying on each other way more than we should have, right? For example, if we had a bad day, it was stressful, work was stressful, whatever, we will always rely on each other to kind of bring our spirits up, which is fine. And that's what couples should do, bring each other's spirits up. But except we didn't really do that, right? We were there to comfort, but we didn't really push each other to do better either. So I think that's where we failed, and we became so comfortable with not doing anything. We became so comfortable with being lazy and stuff like that. So our relationship, as one of my friends said, it became really stagnant, right? She told me it became very stagnant, and she told me that we just weren't going anywhere. We kind of just were stuck in a place, right? And it's crazy because I did explain to some of my friends that I told them that I feel like we both, or I feel like she didn't see me as you know what, I won't get into that, right? Because the point of this video is not to go into detail. I'm not gonna go into detail or anything, right? So moving on from that, another thing was, from being too comfortable, I felt like for me, I was not as attentive as I should have, right? Sorry, that's why. I was not as attentive as I should have. And that all comes down to respect and communication, right? I feel like for me, and I know this sounds like I'm bringing a lot of my faults into here and stuff, which I am. I'm talking about a lot of things that, not necessarily that I did, but things that I didn't do, right? That could have, that if I did do it, it would have changed how we ended up. And the reason is because I'm okay with talking about my mistakes and all that, because it's just me, right? And if anybody's gonna take heat for it, it's just me, and I think I'm okay with that. But I wasn't as attentive, right? And I didn't value our time together like how she valued our time together. She always wanted to spend time with me, and I always wanted to kind of do my own things too, right? I wanted to, of course, I've told her like multiple times, like, hey, do your own thing too, do things for yourself, be more independent and find things that you are interested in. But it seemed like she wanted to just spend a lot of time with me, which is fine, but for me, I wasn't as attentive enough. And a lot of times I don't know why, because I never wanted to be that guy, right? I've seen multiple relationships where the boyfriend's not being attentive enough, not showing enough affection. He's just like, playing games off the side, and when she just wants to hang out, right? And which is, it is very normal these days, because gaming has become such a big thing, right? But the problem with me was I never wanted to be that type of guy, but I really enjoyed playing games, and I knew what the answer was, and that was just to stop playing games and just hang out with her, right, when she's there, right? But I just didn't, and I don't know why. And it's really embarrassing, and it's frustrating, and it makes me really upset at myself, because it's kind of like, what the answer was, what you should have done, but you didn't do it, right? And so I guess that's just something I had to live with. But even when before she moved down to south with her parents, I knew it was going to be a long distance relationship, and we believed that it would have worked out. But even before then, before she left, she just wanted to spend time with me, knowing that we weren't going to see each other for a long time. But even though I knew that, I didn't spend as much time with her as I should have, right? And so I take complete blame for that. I find so much fault in that on my side, because she put the effort to hang out, but I just didn't reciprocate the same effort, right? So other than that, it's crazy, because that's kind of how we fell apart. Was just what I thought, what we both thought we did good at, was something that we failed at during the end of our relationship, and that's kind of how it ended up, right? So now with me, I'm just trying my best to cope with how things kind of went down. It is a very rough rough feeling when a breakup like this happens. It is a different type of pain, right? That it's my first time I've experienced like this type of pain, because this is the longest relationship I've been in. So, and it's stemmed from when I was a teenager all the way till now. So of course there's a lot of memories, a lot of history with it, and I'm doing my best to cope with all these negative feelings and stuff. And I'm lucky that I have friends and family that are willing to be here for me, give me advice, and have a shoulder to lean on, or an ear to listen, whatever people say nowadays, right? But I think one thing that's really helping me with like these negative feelings and stuff, because everybody gets negative feelings, right? Everybody gets these depression, they feel anxiety, sad, sometimes anger, and all this stuff, right? Is that I tell myself before I go to sleep, because before I go to sleep, for some reason, like during the day, I'm okay with these negative emotions. I'm able to like kind of pick at them and deal with them, and then like forget about them for a little bit. But during the time that I'm gonna go to sleep, when it's just me, my bed, and darkness, and just my thoughts, like for some reason these negative emotions like keep bombarding me, and they freaking come crashing down like tidal waves. But what I do is I listen. Sometimes I listen to meditation, sometimes I meditate, sometimes I listen to like podcasts of like relationship advice and stuff like that. But I tell myself, negative feelings are like a guest, right? They're like a guest to your house. You welcome them in, and then you attend to their needs, and you will show your hospitality. But at the end of the day, they're still a guest, and they have to go, right? They're not here to stay. And they'll welcome back, right? Because negative feelings will always come back, and you always have them, and you will tend to them always. But they're not there to stay, and they're not going to be your roommate or whatever. So they gotta go at the end of the day, right? And that's kind of how I'm dealing with it. I'm trying to deal with my negative emotions, but at the end of the day, they can't be there to stay. I can't dwell on them forever, right? Because then I become a negative Nancy, right? Or just negative, sorry for whoever's named Nancy out there. But I become a negative person, and I don't want to be that selfish to the point where I put that on people around me too. Because believe it or not, negative kind of atmosphere, or if you're a negative person and you bring like negative vibes, it does affect people around you, right? And nobody wants to be around a negative person. But yeah, I think another thing is admitting to my own flaws and faults in a relationship is something that's very therapeutic, because then I start understanding more on her side on why certain things happened, and why she did or why we fell down this hole that we did, right? But one thing about our relationship is gosh, we wanted to be happy so much, right? It's so bad, right? We wanted to show that we're that happy couple and stuff, and it's crazy because now after the breakup, and I really think about it, like happiness is such a fleeting and adaptive thing, right? And what I mean by that is one thing that you're happy with now, maybe a couple years later you're not happy with it, right? Or one thing that never made you happy now, or at this time, maybe a couple years later, and you find it again, or it's given to you again, you'll be happy with it, right? And that's the same thing with being adaptive to happiness, right? Maybe, for example, if you own a car and you're not exactly happy with it, right? But later on down the years, you'll grow you grow fond of it, right? You're starting to enjoy the car, you'll be grateful for the car, and then that's where you find happiness. I don't know. I'm rambling on about happiness. If you guys understand, that's cool. But yeah, take it as it is, right? Another thing is, I hope she's not getting any heat on the relationship, because we both made bonds on both sides, and I know that the breakup affected both sides, right? Not just me and her, whether it's a small or big impact. Everybody was kind of affected some type of way from both sides. But I just hope she's not getting heat. You have to, excuse me, but you have to understand that I don't wish the worst for her, right? But you have to understand that she also went through a breakup, a lot longer than I have. And what I mean by that is I think she dealt with it a couple months before the breakup, so maybe that's why I feel, or I seem a little bit more emotional about it towards like our group of friends, or our mutual friends that we had, or bonds from both sides, right? And I think it's just because for me it's just a little bit more recent. So yeah, just hope she doesn't get any heat, and I hope this is the last time that we both or any of us speak up on it, because first of all, not to be very blunt, like she's married now, right? So as respect for her marriage and whatever, we both probably shouldn't be talking about this anymore, right? So hopefully this is the last time we have to bring it up, and hopefully nobody is giving each other heat, right? Hopefully I don't get heat for it. Hopefully she doesn't get heat for it. Other than that, we just move on, right? So with that, I just want to kind of give her a message. This is just a message that I want to say to her. If she sees this, which I don't think she will. I doubt she will if she decides to watch this the whole way. But if she doesn't, then that's okay too, right? Because this is something I want to do, right? So just a message. I sincerely hope that you're well, and I hope that you're happy, right? Fall is coming, so I remember fall is one of your favorite seasons. So I hope you enjoy the season with all the vibrant colors that it brings out. Hope you wear your cardigan and your scarf that you love to wear during these times. It is those times, right? What else do I want? Oh, I guess a happy early birthday, right? I know your birthday's coming up, and it sounds dumb that I'm even leaving this message, but hey, it's what I want to do, right? But yeah, happy early birthday. We've been together for 9 years, so we spent 9 birthdays together on both sides, and this is gonna be the first time that we don't spend our birthdays together, right? So it's a sad thought for me. I hope you enjoy your birthday though. Other than that, one thing about if anybody's saying anything to you, I don't know if they are or not, but for whatever it's worth, hearing it from me, I just want to say, don't worry about it. Just continue to do you, and just do what you think will make you happy, right? Like you said, to me, that you're just following your heart. So I'm gonna tell you, just follow your heart, right? Do what's making you happy, right? We both are very stubborn people, and we'll get what we want if we really try, right? And we will try for what we want. So with this relationship, I guess we both just wanted happiness, right? And in some shape or form, we found it, right? By being together. And for your case, it was probably you realizing that I can't bring you this happiness, so you had to move past me to find happiness elsewhere. And for my case, I guess it was that I found happiness for these past 9 years, whether it was I think it's short or not, right? I still found happiness, and I was still very happy to be with you. But now things happen as it did, and so we move on, right? And I feel like that I could find happiness elsewhere. As I said, happiness is very fleeting and adaptive, and I believe happiness is somewhere out there for me. I just gotta find it on my own, right? Yeah, that's my message to my ex. Hopefully you guys don't feel some type of way. Hopefully you guys understand where we're both coming from. I know this video is not what you guys expected. It's not what you guys wanted. It's probably not anything you guys care about. But if you guys stayed for this long, thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a comment down below. Alright, well, the video actually cut out because my phone died, but at the end of that, I was just basically thanking everybody for coming to watch this video. Going back on the 2 cents thing, I would just want people to, or for my podcast, my friend gave me a idea name, which was my 2 cents, right? Play on my name, right? But I just I'm not very creative in my mind, so maybe if you guys jot down some creative titles for this podcast, that would be very appreciated. Nobody's gonna get anything if I do name it for my podcast, so maybe you guys don't care to, but that'll be fine. Another thing is just comment some topics maybe that you guys want to hear, or you guys would like me to touch up on. I don't think there's much that I have right now. I have a couple topics, but I'm in need of more if I'm gonna make videos, right? So yeah, other than that, just leave a like and subscribe. I just made an Instagram, so you can check that out too. I don't post shit, so it's whatever. Check me on Facebook too, add me, whatever. Other than that, yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.